I'm Tiffany Woolf. I'm the co-creator of Silver Screen Studios. Thanks for watching our series. I started Silver Screen Studios a few years back. My parents died very young, and I realized as I've gotten older that I didn't have the role models to help navigate life's major milestones. There was a real void. I really missed them. So I launched the platform in 2018 with Steve Goldblum, producer for PBS NewsHour, and Noam Dromi, Emmy-winning writer and producer. And we set out and traveled the country to capture stories of incredible older seniors, both in and out of the public eye, and to really help people see what it looks like to have a great last act of your life, to be a very well-lived 85-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-old. It's been a real pleasure to have met so many incredible older people that have incredible stories and are often overlooked in society. And to be able to shine a light and have a platform for them to tell their stories. Well, since COVID-19, we've obviously have to shift our strategy. And so we decided to just use the digital tools that we're all using right now and started this series, which is a call to action, along with interviewing incredible legends. We've had the amazing good fortune right now to check in under quarantine with the legends we love, including Carl Reiner, Norman Lear, Larry King, Ellen Burstyn, and Tommy Chong. It has been an absolute treat. And for this last episode, we wanted to share with you some words of wisdom that we can all take with us as we get through this challenging time. And we hope that you enjoy their stories as much as we do.
So many choices, no one dominates the media. I remember when I got the Walter Cronkite Award and he presented it to me. That was early in my career. Cronkite was the kind of figure who changed the opinion of Vietnam. There's nobody like that today. There is no single person in the United States with the power to change the United States. None exists. Too much media. I can't knock it because you got so many choices. I'm not sure if you're better off, but you sure have choices. There are no John Kennedys around. So I would say I'm hopeful. I'm encouraged about the best in human beings, although my late friend Edward Bennett Williams, the great lawyer, I asked him if he was optimistic or pessimistic, and he said, of course I'm pessimistic, I'm smart.
I think if you don't travel, people have a tendency to lock into their own religion, their own language, their own food, their own whatever, and that's what feels right. And I think that causes a lot of trouble. And when you open up to the world and see all the different ways there are of people living, first of all, it's very interesting, but also it widens your acceptance of other people, and so that you're more inclusive. I mean, I think we're all one thing. We're just different versions of all the same thing, human beings. So I'm very, very grateful that I found the opportunities to travel and to acquaint myself with other ways of being.
As you get older, especially with me now, I'll be 82 in a couple of days. Yeah. And I had an epiphany this morning, I woke up kind of warm, kind of hot, and I thought, whoa, have I got that virus? Because now you don't look at death as something to fear, because you look at death now as another moment. That's all. And Now, when I think of it, I do what the gurus do too. I smile, I laugh, because it's never over. When I was being driven to jail, I had joy in my heart. It wasn't dread, it was joy. I'm going into a new experience, man. I'm going into, it's going to be great. That's what I look at with death.
What's my favorite command? I don't think a lot about the 10 Commandments, and perhaps I should. But, if one of the commandments comes close to saying, whoever you are, you're worthwhile, go with your gut. Listen, be able to change your mind when you hear a better idea. But ultimately, know you matter and go with your gut. What commandment comes closest to that?
Man invented God. God didn't invent man. And if God existed, where was he during Hitler's time? 60 million people were screaming, "Oh God, please come in and kill this guy." Has God been deaf? And so I became a very confirmed atheist, realizing that the whole world is crying for God to help them. And what is he doing? As a matter of fact, a friend of mine wrote a book called God Almighty, a novel. And in the book, man dies and goes to heaven, and he meets God, and God says, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm man, I was made in your image." Man, he said, "I don't remember you. I remember making the flowers because they're pretty, and little insects who can dance and jump around. I remember that. What do you do?" And man decides to, and this is very brilliant, he decides to do what he does. He does a soft shoe. If you want to ask man, you can say pity of man is Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly doing a soft shoe. You can't not melt when you see something like that. He does a soft shoe, and God watches and he says, "Can you teach me that?"
Thank you so much for watching Dispatches from Quarantine. We are already producing season 2 with some incredible guests, including John Amos and Marion Ross and Marla Gibbs. We look forward to sharing more incredible stories with you. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and call your mother or your grandmother or any older loved ones in your life that you need to check in with. Thanks again.
Ann Woolf, Bob's wife. Great to see you, Annie. And Gary Woolf. And Tiffany and Stacy, your 2 daughters, are in school, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is it all consuming? Was it ever that way for you, Bob, being a father?
It's such a great thrill. I got married later in life. Like I got married when I was 35 years old, and then the next year I had a baby, and then the very next year I had my son, and then I had another daughter later on, and it was absolutely thrilling for me. To me, that's the most important thing in life, is my family.
It's interesting because a lot of people now are delaying having children and kind of, going through an intellectual process about when they think they're ready. Are you glad you waited?
I waited because I was waiting to meet the right mate.
Well, that
so
helps.
I
And you did.